Peace, Light, and Love. And today I wanted to talk about 3 things because I realize that it's very important to make this videos very clear and focused. Otherwise, we lose the point. First one I would like to talk to is my reaction to the Shan'Ann Watts vision boards video and to her videos in general. As one woman stated, one commenter was questioning what is the purpose of these videos shown, and I am with her and expressing the concern that those videos are going to be used for the defense of her husband, whatever you call him. So it's a very important fact to realize that parents are not perfect people, and sometimes they really try to teach their kids things that are not age appropriate, like a vision board for a 4 or 3-year-old, and expecting an attention span from a young child. But the intentions are good over there. When you say to your child, I am beautiful, I'm confident, but it's so easy to make movies. You know, at one point in marital therapy, I had a marriage counselor suggesting to film us at dinner time and then analyzing it. Now the point is that people act very differently when they're filmed, including me. And the other point being is that sometimes a few minutes of video, they really don't give the larger picture. And the point being is that parents all make mistakes, and since she made so many movies, Shan'Ann Watts, God rest her soul, there's so much material there for people who just want to bash her, and it's really sad. So we have to remember what the point is. So that takes me back to focusing. The point is, this was a murder. It's the extremist form, the most extreme form of domestic violence when you murder a woman. And we have too many cases of, in Israel, everywhere, in the US, everywhere, there are men murdering their wives, and especially pregnant women. I don't know what makes men angry at that point. Maybe it's anxious, but anyway, he did confess to murdering her. So, and then the children, whatever you say about a parent placing the bodies of your children that you held upon your knees and hugged and kissed and watched them make their first steps, listen to their first word, and then you place them in oil tanks, has to be the cruelest act imaginable. I mean, I talk to people whose dogs die, and I haven't heard anybody, you know, people cherish those years, the few years, and those poor girls, they really did live a dog's life, didn't they? Not able to reach the full potential, and they will never be human beings, adult human beings, always be small children. But I can't even imagine those moments, what it must have been like for that woman, having a newborn, an embryo in her body, and then knowing her life is going to end because of this act of violence. And those children, I just pray that he gave them something to sleep. I don't know, but sadly I don't think he did. Point is, I would like to ask people to refrain. It's so easy, I know, to make judgmental comments about parents, but please don't, because nobody's perfect, and if those videos are being used for the defense of a murderer, please remember that the goal is to stop domestic violence and to stop definitely murder of pregnant women that is all too common, becoming all too common. Very disturbing. So I want to talk about the second thing. The second issue is Angela Merkel visiting Israel. She came for a very short visit. She said she wants a 2-state solution. There was a caricature where he says, which kind of soup would you like? And she says, first we deal with the matters of the the village that's about to be, what is the word? How do you say it? They evacuate this village that's been set up on illegally on land that's called C, which is part of Israel. And they built a village, and it's against the law the way they did it. It was illegally built. And Israeli, like Jewish Israeli settlements have also been dismantled, so that's the term. So, and nobody makes an uproar, like when the Jews have to evacuate their settlements and their homes, and they had like $1 million homes there that they invested in, what you mentioned, agriculture in Gaza. Nobody said, oh, that's a crime against humanity, those Jews, you know? Especially since this whole vast area of the Middle East is actually populated by people of the same religion, although different interpretation, and a lot of times the same origin. And the Jews only have one tiny land, but that doesn't concern Merkel. She says, I'm a friend of Israel, and yet she said there must be a two-state solution. Well, what are you doing? Holding a gun to our head and demanding nothing of the other side, and treating refugees as if they're children without responsibilities, as is the case in Europe, that they just get, like, you don't have to work like as adults do, you just get money from social benefits, and we'll take care of you. Of course there's going to be crime, because when adults don't take responsibilities, then they behave like criminals, and when to begin with they think they're entitled. And Angela Merkel just like, come into our country, just, you know, ignoring their culture and what their culture says about. Yeah, I think she wants to say something too. So anyway, I wanted to say that Angela Merkel is, the whole attitude of Europe towards Israel is completely biased, and it just doesn't seem fair to demand one-sided compromises. And that's what it's been the whole time, one-sided. So then I want to talk about a third issue, which is not actual. There's, in Hebrew we say actualia, things that are contemporary in the news. And then there's intellectual, which is, something that is a bit more, something that's above time. It's you can read any time, and it's always inspiring. So this man wrote a wonderful article about philosophy. This is Raphael. I love Raphael. And it's a painting he presents his pupils when he teaches in high school philosophy. And this is the school of philosophy of the Greeks that influenced the West, the way democracies in the West have evolved. And you see Diogenes he's called the dog. That's right. Diogenes is a very interesting philosopher. So first of all, there's the big philosophers. There's the great philosophers, Appleton and Aristo. Appleton, you call it in English? I don't know how you pronounce that in English. Appleton points with his finger towards heaven, and Aristo to the earth. So that shows what they're interested in. And they have arguments, and on the steps, this is a famous painting, the Academy in Athens. You can see it somewhere. Maybe I'll get a better reproduction of that. And Diogenes is on the steps, and I really found it. It's funny how I found somebody that speaks my mind. His name was Diogenes Sinopa. He comes from modern-day Turkey, actually, because at that time, as we must remember, borders change all the time, and that would be a good reminder for Angela Merkel. I mean, being a German, she should know that better than anyone else. So Sinopa is a Greek philosopher, and he was born in modern-day Turkey, called the dog. He's from the 3rd century. He wrote one of the beloved books, classical time, The Life of Enlightened Philosophers, and it has biographies of 82 philosophers. Just to get to the point, he was born in Sinopa, a Greek colony on the Black Sea, modern-day Turkey. And he learned from Antisthenes, a student of Socrates. And he lived in a giant, God, the word escapes me when I need. It's a giant, like where you put beer, what do you call that? A giant container. Yes, a giant container made out of ceramics. And he used to say he had a rolling house. His house was temporary. And he wanted to give Athens, the people of Athens, a message of doing with little, being modest. And his only friends were dogs. Maybe I'm like a reincarnation of him. His only friends were dogs, because in the dog he saw the best friend. Because he said, dogs are not as hypocrite as people. Isn't it amazing? This is so many centuries ago and it still holds true in 2018, doesn't it? It says dogs are not as hypocrite as people. It's an animal that expresses its love or anger, how we treat her. It licks the hand that gives it food and bites the hand that threatens it. A dog doesn't belong to any territory, to any nationality. It does what it has to do anywhere and eats just what it needs to be hungry, to satisfy its hunger. Not like you, unfortunately. Yeah, some dogs like to eat more. From the animals, like the mouse, he learned the benefits of living a simple life. When asked why is he called a dog, he said, I lick the hands of those who give me something, I bark at those who don't give me anything, and I stick my teeth at corrupt people. Once when he ate his dinner in the marketplace, many people that passed by stood and yelled at him, dog. He said, you are all dogs, he answered, because you are surrounding me the way dogs do. He would say that he's a type of dog that everybody praises, but nobody wants to be with him when he hunts. When asked what his real name, he said, you have to call me dog. Diogenes is just another name. I'm really a dog, but the most noble dog of all, the one who keeps human beings. Not only that they won't lose their property, but that they won't lose their honesty, their integrity, and the harmony between us. He also had a torch, a candle lighting, the candle that was always lit, which is the symbol for Diogenes, searching for the real human being, the authentic one, who acts according to his wishes and not according to the social needs or demands. A man like that is happy, because happiness is the result of inner peace. It comes from a feeling of self-satisfaction and harmony between the spirit and the soul. The happiness that people talk about is because of boredom. Peace, light, and love.